everyone, it's Jen. Welcome back. So today for you, I have some reads that I consider to be comfort reads. Just continuing to go with this theme of November of comfy, cozy, family, being thankful, all the warm and cozy words. So I honestly, when I was prepping for this video, walked around, just pulled books off my shelf that made me think like that was warm and cozy. That felt like a warm hug. That's a book I would go to if I was in a reading slump because it's familiar and comforting. So do with that what you will, but let's talk about some of these books. So no particular order. This first one is Leaving Time by Jodi Picoult. A lot of Jodi Picoult's books have really hard, difficult topics that can be very controversial. And so this one was not that for me. This one to me is a comfort read because this is a story more about motherhood. There is a mystery in here. Of course, I love Jodi's writing. In that sense, she's a comfort because I know if I pick up her book, I'm most likely going to really enjoy my reading experience. But this one just made me feel all the feels. There's a lot of references in here to elephants. Elephants are pregnant for like 22 months or something like that. And this book I wanted to give it a warm hug when I was done with it. Really enjoyed it. Again, it has a mystery component to it. We are following Jenna Metcalf. So her mother disappears in the wake of a tragic accident. And when this happened, Jenna was only 3 years old. So she has very few memories of her mom. And so her mom was an elephant researcher, and she finds all her old journals. And so that's kind of where the story takes you. She of course wants to know what happened to her mom. Yeah, I don't want to say too much more because it's been a while since I've read it, and I don't want to maybe almost 10 years ago I read this. And so that's one. Okay, next one to me, I laughed, I cried, I will reread this, and that is The Martian by Andy Weir. This was a warm hug because I was obsessed with Mark Watney's character. I just love him so much. I felt so much for him just floating around Mars, trying to survive on Mars. And yeah, I don't know. Like I said, it just spoke to me when I was looking around like, what's a warm hug kind of book? This is that for me. I'm sure most of you have heard about this. You know what this is about. The movie was also well done, in my opinion. Of course, the book was better. But this is a story that is just so comforting to me, even though he's lost in space, which is kind of ironic. Next one that's a comfort is The Seven Husbands of Evelyn, Hugo. Now, this one's a comfort for me because I just remember feeling so much for these characters, and everything about this book I was obsessed with when I read it. And to me, it's comforting because I really liked the characters in there, and also the pieces of history we got, the pieces of Hollywood we got in here. I don't know. To me, this isn't a classic, obviously, like, Little Women, something like that. But to me, this is just a classic read. When I read this, I was just getting back into reading as an adult for pleasure. And this is just always will be very special and dear to my heart. And I love this book. Next one is The Dream Daughters. This is one of my favorite books of all time by Diane Chamberlain. Overall, any Diane Chamberlain feels like a comfort read to me. Again, she's an author I can pick up, I can go to, I'm going to love it. I trust her with anything that I read. As far as I know, I'm going to enjoy it. My reading experience is going to be great. I can definitely recommend her to most people. But this book, just the themes of motherhood, and it's just such a comfort read. I will go back to this one and reread this probably off and on throughout my lifetime. Another want to give it a big warm hug at the end of it kind of book. And yeah, it's something I could pick up at any time of year and just really enjoy my reading experience. To me, that's very comforting. Okay, so as far as a mystery thriller, Agatha Christie. She's a classic. she's so comforting because her books are not going to scare you. They're not going to be dark and twisted, so you can, any kind of reader can enjoy her writing without being disturbed by like some of the darker stuff that I like to read. And you can't go wrong with an Agatha Christie. So that one's a comfort read. The next two are more on the classic side. Anne of Green Gables. This is just a fun copy that I have. Read this when I was young, read this as an adult. Anything to do with Anne is just so comforting, from the story, the relationships, the writing, the, time period, and just everything about this book is comforting to me. And it's, again, a book that I can return to time and time again. And to me, it's timeless because I always enjoy it. And I've read it in 3 different decades of my life, I think. Yep. 3 different decades. So there's that one. I would say, safe to say, probably my favorite classic. I don't read a lot of classics, but out of the ones I have read, Little Women. This is so comforting to me. This is not my favorite version I have of this book, but it's upstairs. I have a couple different versions of Little Women. It came in like a collection thing that looks really cool with the spines on the shelf. But, again, another story that never goes out of style, I guess, for lack of a better term. The sisters in this, the relationships in here, the Christmas warm and cozy vibes. Is it a happy read all the way through? No, there's definitely some hard, sad moments. But this is a book that I just, again, will be able to read multiple times in my lifetime and enjoy it. And Little Women is just a classic that is comforting to me. And then the last one, I've read 2 by this author, and I could have pulled either one of them, but Spells for Forgetting I liked a little bit more than The Unmaking of June Farrow by like a 1/4 of a star maybe. But this is Adrienne Young. So what speaks comfort reads to me about this one is her atmospheric writing. Her writing will take you to a different time and place and totally immerse you to where you were there. You were in a live action movie with the characters. When you wake up from a dream and you remember it so vividly that it takes you a minute to really wake up and realize, wait, that's not actually really happening. That was a dream. That's what her writing is for me. And something about being able to be thrown into her atmospheres of her books and her settings of her books is just comforting to me. I don't know. It's a warm hug. I love this book. If you haven't read this, pick this up. She writes young adult too. I've not read any of those, but her 2 adult titles, I really thoroughly enjoyed my reading experience, and this one speaks warm hug to me too. So another comforting read. So there you have it. There's some comfort reads that popped in my brain when I started thinking about this video. What do you consider a comfort read? Like, what qualities does a book have to have for you to be like, oh, that's a comfort read? Is it a classic? Is it warm and cozy? Does it make you feel all the feels? All of these books I mentioned pulled on my heartstrings in one way or another. That also speaks comfort to me. So, that's it. That's all I got. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you guys are reading something amazing. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Happy reading. Bye.